Welcome to Under the Sun podcast.
I'm Irene.
And I'm Ilea. We're so glad you're here. Grab a hot
or iced coffee and join us as we talk about everything under the sun.
I like how there's like not a folded blanket behind you, and then there's chips everywhere. I think I don't know what's in frame.
That is okay.
Check 1, 2. That's rolling. Is yours rolling?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been so burpy for,
Your gallbladder.
months.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not doing great.
Well, let's fix it. I told Dave.
I'm on everything. It's just slow. Everything there is to be on.
You're on ox bile, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I ran out. That is the only thing that helps my heartburn immediately. Let's jump in because this is a good topic.
Yeah, we're already here. Hi, guys.
Welcome. We're
Welcome
here.
to our impromptu Q&A, because I posted a video from my stairwell right there saying we're about to record, send us requests. And sometimes y'all show up and sometimes it is Cricketville. Okay. And today wasn't Cricketville, which I was super surprised. So now we're just going to do an impromptu Q&A. Kind of whatever comes off the cuff. Comes off the... What's this?
Off the cuff.
I was like, what tuft am I talking about? Okay, so ox bile.
So I'm having gallbladder issues, which I think it's a genetics loaded the gun because my mom had her gallbladder out when she was pregnant with me. But also I'm a little conspiratorial.
When she was pregnant?
No, I'm sorry. Right after she'd had me, because she remembers crying because they said you can't lift anything over 10 pounds. And she's like, I just had a baby. What do you want me to do here? But she also said the doctor told her, it's 1990, early 1990. And the doctor's like, yeah, it's just weird. So many pregnant women now are having their gallbladder issues. And I'm like, why were all of the sudden pregnant women having gallbladder issues? But I've never had gallbladder issues till the last, 3 years maybe. And I only know to watch out for it because my mom had hers out. But I'm extra burpy. If you're extra burpy all the time or have a pain kind of up here. First I thought it was a stress ulcer when we were in the heat of the salon. Wasn't an ulcer. Basically went to the doctor just to make sure, I don't want you to do anything. Just tell me if I'm bleeding internally from a stress ulcer. And they basically just said, nothing's wrong with you. Manage your stress. And I'm like, okay. Then it took me a whole year after that to realize, hey, you idiot, it's your gallbladder. You are predisposed to have this issue and you've been eating nothing but candy 3 meals a day. So,
and gallbladders thrive off of bitter things. So dandelion root tea, stinging nettles. Yeah. I can put a list in the description, alfalfa.
Yeah. I can put a list if I remember. I'll put the ox bile, the brand of ox bile that I use. I love it. It works great. It says on there, take with food. But if I take it on an empty stomach, it works so much better.
Okay.
And it will immediately stop my heartburn and excessive burping and any of those things. So ox bile is great. At least the ox bile is great, but I really have proven that this one works super good. If you don't have ox bile, I also love lemons. I can eat a lemon like an orange. So sometimes if it's bad, I'll just chop a lemon in half.
Lemon water right now.
Yeah.
Costco has 2 big glass things of organic lemon juice for $8.
And it's just lemon juice. It's not a bunch of crap.
No, it's the ingredients. Organic lemon juice. Again, there's always room for interpretation of organic in this country, but I can only do the best I can with what I got.
Yeah.
And I don't I find myself, you eat the lemons and I do sometimes, but I find myself letting the lemons go bad before I get to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this works great. I buy it all the time, every time.
Yeah.
But anywho, what are we talking about today?
Well, let's see. I think question number 1, my gallbladder is out. What do I do?
Is that the question?
No, that said fake question. There's your answer.
If you or anybody in your family has had their gallbladder out, they should have been put on a bile supplement.
Yeah.
Because I hate to break it to you, but your adenoids, your tonsils, your gallbladder, your appendix, they all have a job. I know a lot of doctors say oh, God just made a mistake and gave you an extra thing. It's no, those are all directly linked to digestion and lymphatic system. And it's just, it's so annoying.
Yep.
I remember being a kid and being, I wish I could have my tonsils out, just because I think it
was the cool,
it was the cool thing.
Because you watched
I wanted tubes in my ears.
Full House, and one of the Olsons got ice cream for getting her tonsils out.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but thank God that did not happen, because if you're having tonsil problems, it's a sign of anyways, not what we're talking about. But I do think this pregnancy, I can't tell if it's like, am I having a different gender? Our batteries died on our audio that was plugged in. So I have no idea if like the audio saved from before. So if it didn't, welcome to today's podcast. We're going to do an impromptu Q&A. If it did save and this seems a little crazy, it's because our battery died. But I was going to say, well, should I say what I was going to say before that? Because I don't know the audio. It'll probably be there.
Probably be there, yeah.
I've been wanting more like bitter things like lemon a lot. And so I'm like, is that a different gender thing? Or is it like and I've been way more sick this time. And then I stopped chronic hematomas. I'm like, is it my liver that's not functioning correctly? I don't know.
But I also think there's something, maybe not in pregnancy, that the body just works. Because obviously you can get sick and your liver can slow down and stuff. But I guess at the expense of you, the baby's going to get what they need. So don't let your organs shut down. But
no, and
but like the baby's going to take whatever the baby needs to take at the expense of your liver and your gallbladder and your teeth. And
well, that's the problem.
And then they're going to.
That's why I'm trying to like, I do want to take a whole, like I did a lot of work to build up hopefully my stores before I had it. Because like a woman like on average loses like one tooth with every pregnancy or like gets like cavities.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to like mitigate that. But I know there's something in my regimen right now that makes me like, that wipes me out for like 3 hours. That like makes me like pukey and like lethargic. And I can't tell what it
might
is.
Just be a different pregnancy, different kid.
Yeah, but it's always when I take my supplements, I'm like wiped out.
Oh, so not just like random. It's just like after you do this thing.
No, like I either have to take them at night when I go to bed.
Yeah.
Because if I take them in the daytime, like I know, I have noticed a pattern that if I take it during the daytime, like I am leveled within like an hour after. So I don't know. But anyways, we're going to do an impromptu Q&A because I posted a thing and sometimes they all show up and with the questions and sometimes it's Cricketville. So
I'm going to go for the first one.
Sure.
How are we feeling about food colorings being banned? Smoke and mirrors to distract from something else or genuinely a good thing?
What do you think?
I think because I'm just very pessimistic in my old age, I think they're going to ban Red 40 and call it Cherry Flavor 1 or something stupid. And it's going to be the same thing.
They're going to change the name. Yeah. Like what they did.
They've already tried to do that with food colorings. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Tangerine Bliss. It's like, no, that's still orange, whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna change.
But I'm skeptical. I'm just hyper skeptical of everybody and everything now. So unless it says like colored with beetroot and is kind of pastel, then I don't trust it.
I think everything is a distraction from something. And so anytime there's a whole bunch of outrage around everybody, I'm just like.
But I want to be hopeful.
Yeah.
That I won't have to read every label all the time. But
yeah.
Coca-Cola just bought Poppy, so Pepsi, someone bought Poppy, and I'm going to be bitter. You're going to hear me complain about that for a long time. Yeah. You're welcome.
That and Siete, which is very obnoxious.
Yeah.
But like,
but now they have corn chips, which I know part of their thing was not having corn, but they have you had their corn chips with lime? They're amazing.
I thought you didn't eat corn.
It depends. Depends on my tolerance level.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it can be both and. Like it can be a distraction from something and also like, it's like natural flavors. People are like, oh, it only has natural flavors. That could be like, I think it's like over 500 different ingredients.
Yeah.
It's like dyes are really bad. I know they are. Like they're bad for kids' brains. They become manic, all the crazy things. But we should also be concerned about like natural flavors. Like that's just like the tip of the iceberg of things that need to change. Like we need to stop spraying corn with like fungicide, insecticide, herbicide. And then if it, depending on the crop, growth regulator and all these things multiple times of like, I feel like I should be like, yay, a small victory. But then there's a part of me that's like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's all so bad.
Yeah.
So, but like, dyes being illegal doesn't change our life because we already don't eat dyes.
Yeah.
Like and like they will always replace it with something else.
And the stuff that is heavily dyed anyways has corn syrup, has like stuff that I'm gonna try to avoid anyways.
I want everybody to know also marshmallows has blue one in it, which is so dumb. Every single brand at Walmart.
Every brand at Walmart, yeah. There's one brand at our local store that I'm not supposed to say because it pinpoints our location on the map. That does not. But there was something else I was going to say. Oh, but Dr. Noah posted on his stories a few weeks ago now, probably. I can't remember. Where did you see that Q&A where it's like, in what order do you do things?
Oh, yeah.
And mine was like anything with glyphosate is last. So like I personally would eat something with red 40
it was all the
over
range of
eating
priority.
something. Yeah, like my priority is glyphosate. Red one is terrible, but I'd still eat something if it, you know what I mean? Like in the rank of things.
But that's because in the last episode you said you don't like have any ADHD, ADD problems. Whereas like I notice, like I won't touch red 40 anymore.
Is your red like a hard no?
All of it is a pretty hard no. Unless like we're going out to dinner with people and like we're having chips and salsa at the table. That's where I save my splurging for the most part.
Yeah. But
but seed oils is the thing I'll allow more of.
Yeah. Like I had a couple periods ago, I was like, I could punch a stranger for fire Cheetos.
Oh man.
And I actually was in the store and I had a bag of fire Cheetos and I flipped it over and I was going to let the red 40 slide. And part of me was like, don't read it, just buy it. And I was like, you have to read it. And the red 40, I was fully prepared to let go. It was the monosodium glutamate that I was like, I can't do that because that will give me a migraine. And I'm more prone to avoiding migraines than I am to avoiding red 40, if that makes sense.
I know what our next episode is going to be. We're going to talk about how to read a food label. And just like the basic summary of like what the monosodium glutamate, like the basically the top 3 side effects.
Sometimes this is my brain, if I just spaced out. Sometimes my brain's like, oh, maybe you should buy fire Cheetos and just get a small bag. And then we have the ingredients to read. So I can also like kind of easily talk myself into and out of it. But
no, we can go to the store and take a picture of the label and come home and not spend the money and not have it access to it.
Because you know what I have, you know what I will sometimes not be able to talk myself out of. And it's Gushers. And that is just corn syrup and red 40. I love a good pack of Gushers. It's like once a year I'll let myself eat Gushers. But
what is probably French fries from like a Culver's or like somewhere. That's probably like my weakness. But like I never was a candy person. You've always like been like you always like the like
snack. I like a tasty little treat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do remember I used to love lemon heads, which those were good. But I actually was wanting hot Cheetos the other day, and then I found a bag of the popcorn kernels you shared with me.
Which one?
I don't know. You put them in a little baggie, and you said you guys pop them at home. You found like non-GMO ones.
Yeah.
So I popped them, and then I put grass-fed butter on top, like a bunch of grass-fed butter, and then I doused it in cayenne pepper.
Yum.
And it was so good. Like it gave me the same fire Cheeto vibe.
Yeah, good.
And like it scratched that itch without it being deadly.
Right.
But yeah, interesting. We should post a similar poll of like what people will like.
That was a good one because I was like curious to see everyone's answers in the poll, and I was curious to see what he had to say.
I think it was before I found out I was pregnant because I said no to all, but like things have shifted since we've been a lot more lazy with things. Yeah, but that goes in front.
Okay, where is this coming from?
Right there. No, one more time. Do a nice little smooth out.
I keep rubbing my wrist. I tweaked it at work with my blow dryer. So if I keep like, I don't know how much of my body you can see, but I'm sitting here like this the whole time. So
shoot.
Me. Okay, what else? What else do we get?
I have screenshots if you want me to read them off. I gotta unlock my phone and go to my photos app. Hold on. It says baby-led weaning, first foods for kids, whole milk for 1-year-olds, your journey with hens and meat birds. That's probably for me.
My journey is that I'll hold a baby chick because they're cute. And the second you pick them up and can like feel the spines of their feathers, I'm out. Because you tried to hand me one in your garden last year. You're like, here. And as soon as I like felt its little spines, I think I dropped it. I was like, sorry. Hope you can survive. See you later.
Is that the one that broke his leg?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Really?
No, it was the one that you had in your pocket because it was getting like attacked or something.
Oh,
you had it in, like your apron
mama
pocket.
Chicken.
It was like a teenage chicken. So it was still cute enough. I was like, yeah, I can grab it. And I was like,
honestly, like I'm impressed with myself.
I'm impressed with you.
Because I am not a bird person. I did not get them. Like I see those reels where people like, where they're hanging out with their chickens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am not doing that.
Yeah. They're not your friends.
They are here for a purpose. Their job is to provide eggs. My job is to provide them food and shelter.
Yeah.
And then if you stop providing those things, I'll let you live a little longer and then we're calling you because I'm not paying for you to eat.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting. Like meat birds was awesome. We're going to do it again, but we're probably going to have to do it in the fall because I think it's seasonal when you can order them.
Oh, interesting.
And meat birds are different than like birds you incubate. Like I notice, like we did a Cornish cross variety when we raised them for meat, and then we've had to not accidentally we've had to cull a couple for like sickness or whatever, regular hens or broken legs or whatever, and they don't have enough meat on them. Like they're not really meant. Yeah, they are meant to be eaten, but like they're not worth the effort for me. If I'm gonna do it, like I'm gonna get like a fatty patty, you know. But yeah, I'm impressed with myself, which is rare for me to say. Like I can gut a chicken. I prefer not to kill. I have done it, but like my husband and father are not too bothered by it. Yeah, and so I'm like, great, y'all do that, and I'll do all the gutting and the plucking. Like I'm totally fine once they're dead. But it's. Yeah, I highly recommend it. We provide eggs for a lot of people in our lives, which is great. I can't eat regular eggs at a restaurant anymore. I found that out on our little mini, what do we call it? Like pool vacation.
Yeah. Once they're like pastel yellow, it's not worth eating.
Dave said he's become a snob. Like he occasionally has to go on like work trips and stuff, and he'll get like, you know, eggs and sourdough toast and like avocado. And he's like, what is this? For one thing, my portions are so small. Also, why are the eggs basically white? Because ours are like a rich color. But I don't know. I guess that's like the extent. I love it. I am a city child. My grandparents had a farm. We would visit them. But I'm surprised about how far I've come with the chickens. And like I used to get emotionally distraught when a chicken would get sick. And now I'm like, that's a circle of life. See you later. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. Baby led weaning.
So you give me your thoughts because you said yours has changed. I think we just did avocado for both of our kids. And then it was kind of like whatever we were eating, you get a little chunk of it. Yeah. But you said something changed. What? Well, or something maybe changed.
I let Leo... They're like, oh, like, you know, after 6 months, you can let them, which I'm saying, like they say. Yeah. Who was they? I don't know if you heard my kids scream. But she had, like, her first thing was prime rib and bone marrow because, like, that's what we were having. I think it was like Thanksgiving or something. Yeah. And it was there. And so I was like, you're 6 months. Like, let's have some prime rib and bone marrow. And she just, like, sucked on the meat. And we, like, gave her a little bit of marrow and it was fine. She liked it. What I'm going to do differently this time is I'm going to wait until at least 6 teeth are in. Like, I'm going to let them, like, try flavors of things, but not because I was reading in, I'm going to forget, Nourishing Traditions. I don't agree with everything in it, but it made sense to me that, like, why are we giving food to babies before they have teeth? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that, yes, I think, like, and I don't think purees are the answer. Yeah. But I don't know. So like, I think I'm going to follow my gut because that has always served me well to follow my gut. Yeah. And so like, will I let the kids suck on prime rib at 6 months? Probably. But like, I don't think I'll rush it so much of like, you need to be chewing. Like you don't have any teeth. Yeah.
You'll get there.
You'll get there.
Because I think both of my kids would just get little bits of food, but I wasn't like, you have to eat food before bedtime. Right. It's like, here's my boob. Enjoy it all night. I'm going to sleep. Yeah. Drink if you need to. Because both of my kids primarily were, like, it was like almost completely milk for a year. Yeah. And they would get stuff, but. Well, that's the thing. But I was like, you don't need any of this. You're getting everything in the milk. This is just to like get you experienced in chewing.
Yeah. Like that's the thing is like, and I think women maybe do this more than they like to communicate. Because I did the same thing. I'm like, she tried some stuff and like whatever we were eating, she would try. Yeah. If it's like only if it was like a healthy thing. If we were having pizza, she didn't try. Yeah. But like she was mostly boob for like she was basically like 99% boob for a year. Yeah. And then after that, I think it like she started consuming more food.
Yeah. But it's like, but I guess baby led, if we're sitting there and the kid's sitting in a high chair and we're somewhere and they're reaching for it. I'm like, well, you want it, you can try it. But
well, there's also
I didn't like set food out in front of them.
Yeah.
And anticipating they would eat it. It's like, if you're reaching for it, here's a bite.
There's also like, I don't know. We would just sometimes like put it on her high chair. Like once she could actually sit up on her own, that's when she started sitting in the high chair. I don't think you should rush that part of it.
Yep.
Because if a kid can't sit up, like how are they going to stabilize their core to then chew safely like with food?
Yeah.
But like we would put things on the tray that she could just like smush around with her fingers. It wasn't it had nothing to do with eating. It had nothing to do with, it was just like sensory. You play with the thing while we eat. Yeah. So that's what I think I'll do different. I think I'll just wait even longer. Yeah. And then this time be intentional about like probably marrow and things like that. What do you think about whole milk for a 1-year-old?
I think it's probably fine. People survived thousands of years without purification processes.
Yeah. I mean, Leo started drinking raw milk at 1. When did we move here? It might have been 1.5. Like we didn't know we had access to it.
I can't remember. Yeah.
So she never had any like store-bought milk.
Yeah.
But I started
we never did store-bought milk
not supplementing, but like during the day, because there was like a schedule. I think actually there's another question in here later, but like about weaning. But like I started, what?
We'll get to there when we get to weaning.
Oh, okay. That like when I would cut a feed, I would then just replace it with like a cup of raw milk. Yeah. And that worked out great.
Burr milk.
That's what I'm saying. She called it her burr milk, like cold. And this was not cold milk. But yeah, I guess that's the extent. But
sometimes I forget, like I pumped so rarely the second time around that I forgot how warm it is.
Yeah, it's warm.
So I was just like, I would pump. It would be so rare that I'd pump some and I'd go to pour it in a bag. I'm like, oh, it's warm. Like I came from my body. I know it's warm, but
yeah,
I don't know how babies would then go to like 1-year-old and all of a sudden loving cold milk. You've just been drinking warm things your whole life. But
I don't know. And Leo is Dave's child because she loves cold things. She said, "Can I have a cold poppy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can have some." Yes, but. Then it says postpartum tips / nursing second time or just nursing in general. You've nursed a second time.
Tips like what? I wonder. Well, the second time there was less stress because I knew what to do. Yeah. I was also nursing 2 children at once. So there was no gap. Like I didn't have a gap to forget anything. It was just like, oh, here's a boob. Here's a boob. You lay on this side and you lay. I was like, I'd get that little like boppy pillow thing on my recliner. So it had like the wider chair thing. And I'd have one kid this way and I've had one kid this way.
That makes me want to barf.
I loved it.
I'm happy you loved it. And I'm not saying this in judgment.
I loved it for a couple weeks. And then I think I was hyper stressed at work. Like probably the most stressed I've ever been in my entire life. I think.
So you nursed through your whole pregnancy and then with a newborn.
I think my body rejected nursing my toddler because my body knew like you're struggling and this baby needs priority. Yeah. Otherwise, like I had no stop date for Riker. I was like, he'll be done when he's done. Yeah. Like I wouldn't have gone past 3, but it's like, whatever. But at some point I got that repulsion. Yeah. Which I never understood. I'm like, how do you just latch your kid and feel repulsed? Until one day he latched and I almost threw up on his head and I was like, okay. Huh, but then I latched the baby and I didn't have that. So I think my body was like, get this kid away. He has all of his teeth. Yeah. He is fine. And I still cried, but no, I loved it. I loved nursing while I was pregnant because for me, it was a way that I didn't feel like that feeling of like, what if he thinks I don't love him because there's a new baby? Because he was young when I was pregnant. So I liked it. I loved it because I feel like I'm still able to care for both of my babies the best way that I knew how, which at the time was with my milk. Yeah.
But I'm impressed by all moms who can 2 under 2 means something different. Like to me now, like just because I'm just like, how did you there was no way. I was like, up until we could see the child, I was not ready to conceive again. Just because maybe it's because our life is just so laborious. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah.
Did you ever, I don't know if this will help anyone first time nursing or if you struggled nursing the first time, did you ever hear that water bottle theory about nursing? So I had, with the first kid, I had a lactation consultant come to the house because I was just worried. He was like colicky, which ended up being dairy, but I was like, how do I know he's drinking enough? And I don't know, they just kind of latch him on after you have him and it's like, hope for the best. But she came over to the house and she's like, okay, you latch him without any prompting, without any help, and let me just see how it goes. So I latched him and she's like, okay. So she took him back and she's like, try this. She gave me my water. She's like, take a drink of your water. So I took a drink of my water. She said, okay, now turn your head this way and take a drink of your water. And it like clicked. I was like, oh, because he was laying and then like his head was turned, but I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
I'd never had a baby before. So I would just like hold him like you'd hold a baby face up and try to turn his head.
Yeah, shoot.
And so then she, like when it clicked for me that it's hard to turn your head this way and swallow, it was like, oh, so then you flip the baby on their side. So their face should be like facing your boob.
Yeah,
And
you should
that
be
made
tummy
a
to tummy.
world of difference.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like piece of cake other than the biting and the teeth and the pinching and the...
Yeah. I always heard it was tummy to tummy, nose to tit. That's, I mean,
Yeah.
like that's, I took a nursing course. Like I'm an older mom. Like it's weird to think that, but like I had my daughter at 29 and like I'm now about to be 32. But like I got to see everybody have kids and be like, oh, like this seems to be the consistent pattern with this, and this is the pattern with this. And so like I wanted to, and I just like learning. I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
And so I took a nursing course through a podcast I used to love, and then they rapidly betrayed me. If you've followed us for a long time, you know who it is. We've thrown them
a
under
podcast about birth that likes to chop up human babies.
Isn't that crazy? Oh yeah, no, we advocate for you and your body, like, and for like you to have autonomy over your birth during labor or your body during labor. But if you want to cut that baby out, no problem, guys, no problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm not bitter. So they had a class, but it was a really great class that taught me a lot, and that's where it says the belly to belly, nose to tip, because like that just I don't know.
What I looked up, I don't know. I just assumed the mechanics of it would come naturally.
Yeah.
What scared me was all the moms are like, oh, I tried to nurse and I just couldn't do it. And I guess I never want to say that because like you never know what's going to happen in life. Like,
yeah, well, sometimes there are legit things, and
so I never want to be like, if you don't breastfeed, whatever. But like, you just never know. Life happens. But I was so focused on like, what if my supply dries up? So my research didn't go to like, how can the baby latch properly? It was like, he'll figure it out. I went more like, what foods do I need to eat? What supplements do I need to take? So having someone explain that water bottle thing was like, the light clicked and then it was smooth sailing.
I don't know where I heard it, or maybe it's just like an instinct, but like that, like if your supply is really low, if you stress out, it's going to be lower because of it.
Yeah.
And of course, like if your kid is like showing signs of like hunger after nursing, and like if it's not like a cluster, feeding session, like I don't know. I feel like you can just follow your gut really well as a mom. Like if you're an in tune mother and you're like focused on your baby, follow your gut for your kid.
Yeah.
Like God gave you that baby. And so like, I don't know. I just remember being like, I'll know if something's wrong.
Yeah.
And so I'd nurse her and it's like, I'll know if something's wrong.
I say after that, it was all smooth sailing. I have rose-colored glasses to
you sure do.
Everything pregnancy and nursing. So I'm like, it was great. And then I had a flashback that I cried every time he latched for a month and a half solid. And I was in excruciating pain.
He had a lip tie, right?
Because he had a lip tie. He had a tiny, tiny bit of a lip tie. Not enough that it was like significant, but just enough to cause pain. But he also had, or however his lip tie was, it basically, when he latched, cut off all circulation to my nipple.
It'd go white.
So it'd go white. And then the second he like unlatched, all the blood would flow like pins and needles. So I say it was all smooth sailing. It was very hard at first. And then my daughter, I had like actually no issues with her.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. But so when I say everything was great, I have forgotten all of it. Forgot about labor, forgot about pregnancy. Everything was wonderful.
I am not opposed to emailing people the assets that they sent me.
Yeah.
For the class. So like send us a message and I'll send you like, but it had like a lot of good stuff of like, like don't let them nurse like on the tip. Like they need to like have like a big like hamburger size bite, like more than you think you're gonna like suffocate your kid with your big enormous disc sized nipple. But I think this time I don't know. I'll just follow my instincts as I go, and I've been trying to work on my, like I always am trying to keep my minerals up because that's like linked to lip ties, cheek ties, and tongue ties. And that didn't used to be a problem with our mother's generation. Like their kids, like, well, they did, and then they just quit. Like, they just quit nursing because there wasn't like lactation consultants. Postpartum tips. I wish I had more clarity on that because send us a message if you want specifics because we'll always do more Q&As. But
and postpartum second time because that's different than postpartum first time.
I have like a whole list I'm starting of like things I'm going to do differently, and not like maybe I'm too easy on myself. I know a lot of women like beat themselves up of like, oh, I should have done this the first time. Like,
I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
And that
like,
first kid's a test of everything.
Yeah. And I try, like, there are certain things I tried and that was like, well, that was excessive. Or or that I didn't learn until later. And I was like, well, sweet dang, that was a, good thing. I think like, even with newborns, people are like, if your kid is unconsolable, either put them in water or take them outside in this, like, whatever the weather. Yeah. Just take them outside.
We had to do that a couple months ago now. One of the kids was having just a meltdown and would not. It's like, let's take a bath. And normally that just saying, let's take a bath does it. Did not work. I don't want to take a bath. And it's so rare that my kids have those kind of freakouts. Put this child in the bath, 100% of their clothes on. And I'm not saying there for gender. I'm saying there because I don't want them to grow up and be like, Mom, why are you talking about me having a tantrum on a podcast? But put them in the bath with 100% of the clothes.
Okay. Did that work?
Which also angered them. But then 2 seconds later, they were like, clothes were off and they were fine. But it's just like that one little drop in the bathtub. How dare you? And I was like, sorry, stop freaking out. And then it was hard to get him out. No, I'm having fun. I don't want to get out. So
do you ever do like compression? Because like Leo doesn't ever say like she has growing pains or anything, but I saw, I think, a reel somewhere of like you start either at their feet or on their hands and then you just squeeze, like if they're having a freak out, or you can even like get a pillow. It's going to sound weird but like you don't put it over their face. My gosh. But like you just like get a pillow and like press firmly on their hands as they like lay on the ground and like work your way up, and it helps reset their nervous system. I do that massage. Like I work up her arms, not soft, but not hard. Yeah. And then I go up her feet and then I do like some lymph stuff. And then, like that just always like resets her. And then she can be reasonable then.
Yeah.
Do you have brain fog? Are you lethargic? Do you have digestion issues? Do you not poop enough? Are you pooping too much? Do you have angry outbursts? Does your butthole itch? Irene, does your butthole itch? Don't answer that. Don't answer.
I'm going to answer.
Well, if your butthole itches, what does that mean?
Question. That means you have a worm.
Or many worms.
Lots of worms.
And I know what you're thinking. Worms? Are you kidding? That doesn't happen.
I've not left the country.
Yeah, it happens. Guys, like you can go touch the soil in your front yard and get worms from there. Like, because
if you have pets, they lick you.
We're disgusting, honestly. And like food, like produce, if it's not cleaned properly or if it's grown and like, they're everywhere. And so most cultures cleanse once a quarter.
Yeah.
So
deworm themselves all the time.
You gotta deworm yourself, and we have the perfect brand for you.
Yes. Rogers Hood is where we get all of our parasite things from. She has this kit. It gives you everything you need. It has 3 tinctures. There are
heavy metals too.
Yep, pulls heavy metals out. It's so great.
Yeah.
I did it. I'll just say it. I did it. And the very first day that I started the tinctures, an 8-inch tapeworm came out of my butt.
8-inch.
So, and I mean, I have left the country on like cruises, but it's all sanitary and everything's washed and they're there.
It's just life, and we have to just cleanse regularly. Yeah. So use our code UTSP10 and you won't regret it.
Yeah.
Or like a really firm hug. But that's not postpartum tips. But this time I'm going to be not lazier, but I'm going to let myself rest.
Good.
I'm going to do the whole like 1 week in the bed because Dave has the time off work.
Yeah.
So like last time I was like, man, I did it. Like this is fantastic. I did the natural birth. Like you have all those like oxytocin hormones. I was flooded with them.
Yep.
I think I'll actually let myself like be a potato because I think once this whole 50% thing is done and I actually like have my energy back and I don't want to vomit all the time,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like meal prep the crap out of everything.
Nice.
So that we
I
can
can help.
Well, I think
If you like end up just being exhausted the whole time. Hopefully not. But if you do,
I'm telling myself
just
in my
call me.
mind that like that pregnancy has been hard so far. In just like a way I haven't experienced before. So like that tricks, I'm trying to tell myself, I'm like, that means that labor's probably going to be easier if like pregnancy's hard.
if it makes you feel better, most midwives almost miss the second birth
I hope so.
because you just are so chill. You don't think it's really happening. And I was like, oh shoot, the baby is basically here. Postpartum though, mothering, again, I still nursed both. So I think that kind of helped him not feel, my firstborn not feel jealousy, I guess. I was very cautious to not send him away.
Yeah.
So like even if he got closer to her than I was comfortable with, like the top of her head early on with his race cars or something, I would never say, get away from the baby. It was always, hey, be gentle. Hey, slow down. Or if he'd get up into her face to like kiss her face, it's like, okay, just be slow, be soft. I never told him to go away, which that was instinctual to me. And then I had someone in my family pointed out, they're like, you never yell at him to like go away or calm down. I was like, well, he's not going to hurt her. I've got her in my arms. So,
yeah.
So that was something. If it's a second postpartum, like, and you're worried, just, I don't know. My instinct, I mean, he could always accidentally hurt her or hit her, but I feel like I was so, I mean, she was teeny tiny and I'm holding her like this. Like there's only so much he could do without me being able to like push the car away or something, you know?
Yeah.
But
Leo was older than Riker was when you're doing, so like she will be 3, like a older 3. And I have like, we've been very intentional to be like, your baby's in there and like making it about her. And she's like, I can't wait until my baby comes.
Yeah.
I also saw a tip online where someone said like, build like busy boxes that like, just like little totes. Can you, well,
I can do whatever.
am I off center now?
Yeah.
Does this look weird to me sitting like this? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna prep some of those just with like cheap, like I don't know, dollar store coloring books and stuff that she can do while I'm like nursing and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wish you would have done postpartum before? I probably should have accepted more help of like cleaning or doing dishes or something.
Yeah.
But
no, because my mom came for like 6 weeks postpartum, so she just did all my dishes. So that was really nice.
Yeah. I don't think I could stand having anybody in my house.
She also made all my food. It was great.
Yeah. Both times?
Yeah,
Nice.
both times. So she was also able to help. Like if I was just exhausted from not sleeping and Riker wanted to do something, she would go and like do that activity with him or build blocks with him.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. She'll probably just do it forever on. But you don't love people around you 24/7. So
I don't. I recharge by myself. And I have a social limit.
Yeah.
If there's like weeks and weeks where like every single weekend or like it feels like there's like a lot of like,
yeah.
I feel suffocated.
Yeah.
But other postpartum tips: drink lots of water with like
work
minerals. Yeah, I mean,
don't start a business in a pandemic and then get pregnant and then have a daughter and then work.
Yeah,
right away.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have kind of what's the word? Not unlikable. I have hot button views on those things. Like we very much could not afford for me to quit my job at the point. Like we had to sell our house for me to quit my job.
Yeah.
But it was totally worth it. We moved into a smaller, like I am totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Like because it's totally worth it. Because once you like have a kid for the first time, like I always thought like, no, I'm going to be a girl boss.
Yeah.
I'm going to like, you know, have kids someday when I have this like great career.
Yeah.
And I had this career that like everyone told me that was like, wow, it's so cool. And I'm like, this is the worst. I don't enjoy this.
Yeah.
This is not great that I have 4 weeks vacation. It makes me want to jump off a bridge. Like my soul is dead.
Yeah.
And you're telling me I have to come and think about this thing that makes me dead inside instead of like being present with my child.
Yeah.
I just think we've devalued. I mean, back to the Erica Combsar interview. I don't agree with everything she says, but I do think we just stopped prioritizing kids.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I never wanted to be a girl boss.
Yeah.
I wanted to start this business so that it could run itself and I could never show up except for when I was needed. And then that just, you cannot run a business and not be there. So joke's on me, but I never wanted to like be a girl boss or make it to that I am totally fine letting my husband take the reins.
Yeah. I wasn't, I think it was like my sisters in the magazines they had around that like I was indoctrinated by osmosis.
Yeah.
Of like, you never rely on a man. You can't trust him for anything.
Yeah.
Lol.
And I was always like, I'm well aware I could be as strong as I need to. Like, I don't know. Cause I'm like I'm really working on not being self-deprecating. But in that regard, I'm like, I never doubted I could do it. I never doubted I could get a job and like get promoted. I was like, yeah, whatever. Cause I know my work ethic. But I just didn't want. It's like, I know I can carry this thing up the stairs by myself. I just don't want to.
Yeah. I think I had a something to prove chip on my shoulder for a long time. That like, I don't know. I did all the things that the feminist told me would make me happy. And I was like, this is bullcrap. Yeah. All my uterus wants is a child. Yeah. This is it. And then, but yeah, anyways, postpartum tips. Save as much as you can so you can take off as much time as you can. Yeah. And I'm always for selling the house, doing the things, cutting the budgets, living below your means to make it to where you can like figure out some way to have a modified work schedule. Like you have a modified work schedule. So you're home a lot. But yeah.
I feel like I hate saying I feel so blessed. It feels so dumb. But like I really do feel blessed though because of my career isn't like, oh, I have to go to work. Like I would literally do exactly what I'm doing for free for 12 hours a day. Yeah. So it's nice that when I do it, it's not like I don't want to be like this place is sucking my soul. It's taking the life out. I'm like, I love it.
I've never felt that way about a job, which
rare. I know and I'm realizing now like how rare that is.
I feel that way about motherhood. Yeah. Which is weird because I did not think positive about stay-at-home moms for a long time. Yeah.
But I would never want to work full-time. But I do like being able to like work whenever I feel like it.
Yeah. That's great. And like, I want to make sure this is clear that like we had double income, no kids, living the dream as people like to portray online. Yeah. But like, I remember every month not trying for a kid, like actively preventing, and then being like pissed off every time I got my period. Yeah. And then what you said the time before, a couple podcasts ago of like, when you get mad at, I was like, I was mad at Dave for
no reason.
For no reason. Yeah. Like we were not trying to get pregnant, but like, I was mad at him.
It's just that instinct, the subconscious instinct to have a baby is wild.
It is wild, but it's also like, God gave us that instinct. Yeah. And like, it's not to sound like a Baptist, but like, it's the world that tells us it's a bad instinct. Yeah. But like we had the dream life, like not the dream. We were working our asses off and had no social life. And I was
but you
dead
traveled
inside.
And you saw the world and you went on
and
tour.
You were on stage. It was so good. It's like, no, it was effing hard and like brought me to my breaking point. But it all happens for a reason. Yeah. But like when I was basically pissed off that I was having to like go like work full time because like I'm not giving her she's not going to daycare. Yeah. We don't have any family I want to leave her with. Like it's not happening. Yeah. So I was trying to work full time and like have a baby full time. And I was just like, we have to sell the house. Like we have to sell the house and I'm quitting or like something has to change because like it was not working. Yeah. It was actually like a really hard, we've talked about that. Like he's not allowed to change jobs. Yeah. Cause that was traumatic. I don't know if you remember that. Like Dave, he took paternity leave, like ended his job, started paternity leave and then started a new job. And the new job was like quadruple demanding. And so he was working till like 10 o'clock at night most nights. And then it was just like me 24/7. And then I started back to work. And then it was just me 24/7 plus a child plus work.
Working, yeah.
And that was it was a rough first year. Like the baby wasn't rough. Like it was never like, you are making my life difficult, baby. It's like, everything else that doesn't matter, the house, the things that everyone tell them, like the job that's, you know, a job that like on paper, I beat out 99 people with degrees, college degrees. I did not have a college degree. That on paper, people are like, this is so great. I'm like, and none of this matters anymore. This whole effing sucks. And so we did the hard thing. I'm saying, like we sold the house, bought a way cheaper house to like live on one income and like adjusted our budget accordingly.
We should have a podcast, the four of us, on like not surviving, but like for the longest time, it's just you two grown adults who can do whatever you want whenever you want. But so I don't know what we would call it. Maybe we call it surviving the first year of parenting marriage or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because
I separate it.
It'd be a good topic.
Because there's like, honestly, and I hated when people said it before, but like marriage is so easy. And if it's not easy, there's probably something wrong. Like, so easy before kids. And like you introduce, and it's not the kid that's the problem. Like that's what I always thought. Like, oh yeah, kids make it the problem. It's like, no, kids just have a way of shining a light on like things that were already rotten in your relationship that you just could overlook before. And it's not like, I'm not saying like, oh, like be nitpicky, but it's
it's different. It is different, and you're sleep deprived, and when you're sleep deprived, you're gonna just naturally be more snippy, and then if anyone takes offense to the snippiness, it just can escalate, and it's just interesting. It's an interesting time, which I've conveniently forgotten. I'm like, it was great. I slept great. I don't think I've slept great in 6 years, but somewhere in my brain was like, it was wonderful. My children slept all the time.
I think I forgot. Like, it's hard because when you're nursing, you were the one who does all of the bedtimes. It's like never ending. It's
I don't know. Jacob was going to say she was a lazy nurser. I'm like, excuse me, I was nourishing two children at once.
Nothing about it is lazy.
Well, because my
battery's going to die.
No.
My gosh, this is so. Oh my gosh, could this be more cut and disjointed? Sorry guys, my battery was going to die. Okay, you were going to say,
because I didn't do bedtime. There was no bedtime. There was no like take a bath, change the diaper, do a massage. It was like, I'm tired. Here's my boob. Hope we all fall asleep. So that's why and it is very like lazy. There was no bedtime routine established. But also prior to marriage, thrived on routine. In that point, like I did do the normal like high school role. I went to college for 2.5 years. Like you're on a schedule, you're on someone else's schedule. You got to be places. Then I had a job, like a federal government job where you're on their time clock. But I did great because I thrive on a schedule. Like my planners were hourly. And then I married someone who has never looked at a planner or a map a day in his life. And that was a whole rewiring of my brain. So now I live somewhere in the middle. But for our household, scheduling bedtimes, and this has sometimes bit us in the butt, but like scheduling bedtimes and having scheduled naps, I was like, is not going to work. Because I've seen the kids who it's like, oh, 2:00 is nap time every day. Well, if you happen to be at lunch with friends or like at a business meeting, because we took our kids everywhere, and that kid lost their mind, it wasn't going to work. So we were just more...
But if you have the boob,
fluid. But with the boob, it wasn't like, this is bedtime. Here's what we're doing. It's like, okay, it's 10 o'clock. I'm ready for bed. Here's the boob.
There's a middle ground though. Because I did a hybrid. I'm not like, we did the wake windows for the most part, but like the grounding figure of the clock was me and nursing. So
did you pick the nurse times or did you let her pick? Because I just kind of let the kids pick when they were hungry. If you fall asleep, great. If you don't, we'll play for longer.
Yeah, there is no special number that I followed. It was like the first, especially 6 weeks, I was like, just if there's an awake baby, I'm going to nurse her because like, establishing supply and demand. And then otherwise, it was just like wake windows based off of what I learned of taking care of babies. And I don't do cry it out at all. But like would follow the wake windows per the age. And like she would just follow it. Like they would give like an example of like, if you wake up at 7, follow this and then adjust it if you wake up at a later date or later time. And she was just that baby. She did fantastic. Like, okay, if I start to wake up at 7 or whatever, and she needs to nurse them by 9:30, I would just start nursing her at like 9:20, and then she'd be asleep by 9:30. And it would be fine. But I was the
hope
grounding.
That your second kid
don't wish anything.
I genuinely hope that your second kid follows that life for you.
Well, even if it doesn't, it's fine because it'll be a different individual. But I was the grounding factor of like the nursing was the signal to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And like, it's a little different like when she's weaned. 'Cause, like she can nap other places ish, but like also sometimes I just want to go home.
Yeah.
I definitely use that.
I love using my kids as cop-outs.
Well, yeah. And, but she also is more mentally stable. The better she is at getting, like when she gets her nap at the same time every day, and when she goes to bed at the same time every day, she is more stable through the day, which makes my life easier.
Yeah.
So like maybe people think I'm annoying because I'm like, no, we gotta go to bed because like it's 9 o'clock.
If it works for your family, then doesn't matter what anybody
Dave
thinks.
And I do really well. It didn't work with daylight savings time. Like at winter, we kind of got like we kind of stopped the bedtime routine because then I started going to bed earlier.
Yeah,
and so I just put her to bed with me. Like we would just go to bed together.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think there's a middle ground where you're not so like like the moms are like upset, like, oh, it's nap time.
Yeah,
but like there is a lot of, I know people think it's restrictive, but like there's freedom in knowing like, okay, here's the block of time we can get other things done, and or like I know my kids' behavior because they're napped and rested and not like overtired and being absurd. You know, I don't know. I think there's a middle ground for all of it. But rapper, anybody? Anyways, any other postpartum tips?
It left. Make your decisions and don't let anyone make you feel bad for any decision you make, regardless of what it is. Because
co-sleeping ?
You're a kid, but I'm very much like, if you don't like my decision, then see you later. So I think that's harder maybe for some people. But like if you decide, I don't want them wearing this, or I don't want them in, I don't know, plastic clothing, like whatever the decision is, how big or how small, I don't want people coming over for 5 weeks. Like if anyone gets offended, too bad.
Well, that's the
So
thing
sad.
is like, and we've had videos on this podcast and like I have videos on my personal channel of like, if someone is very upset by something you decide for your kid. Yeah. Like they had their time to raise their kids, or if they don't have kids and they're just difficult, like that's their problem. That's not on you. Like, like I think we have actually the reason postpartum depression, you have like one,
I don't know where it keeps like popping out from.
I think that one of the many reasons, we can talk about why we think this is like postpartum depression and anxiety has been is running rampant right now and is an epidemic. But I think it's because we've stopped prioritizing like rest and the mother and the bonding with the baby. And that's why like, nobody nurses anymore. And like people are depressed and they're not like truly bonded to their baby. Is because we've interrupted like the mother's bonding just because we're handing the baby around like a potato. And
I literally cannot imagine a bunch of strangers like poking and prodding me and my kid the second after pushing him out. Like it breaks my brain that I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine handing off my child. Like when I had my post-labor cramps, that I did not forget. I forgot everything about labor. I did not forget the post-labor cramps. And apparently they get worse with each kid, which is so fun. But at both times, because I had both of them in the water, I remember handing the kids off to whoever, because I was like, if the way that these cramps are, I was like, I'm gonna drown us both. Like someone take this baby before we both slip under like I could not even sit up straight in the tub anymore. But the people in that room, I felt safe enough with to hand the baby to. It wasn't like some nurse I had never seen before. So
that's taking them like on the other side of the room and like wiping them down aggressively.
Cannot imagine. I'm sure Jacob would have loved for the children to have bathed that day, but I was like, do not touch my children.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This isn't postpartum, but have a safe enough environment that you can hand your child to someone and not panic instinctually.
But also prioritize, like, like I knew, I was like, okay, I'm going to have anxiety if we have like visitors everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to feel like I'm going to need to host. I'm going to feel like I'm going to need to sweep because we have dogs. So there's dog hair everywhere. Like, and instead of like, because sometimes my face looks rude, but I'm a recovering people pleaser. Yeah. Like I want to accommodate to a certain extent, like because I like people to think well of me. That's changed over the years. But like
it's still in there, just looks different.
I'm just not. I think there's like the people who are like, it doesn't serve me, and it's all very selfish. And then there's like, no, I'm like Like I'm technically supposed to be 50% right now. Like I'm not going to get up and do your dishes.
Yeah.
Like technically you invited us over to help us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand up. Like I'm
not going to host you.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, having boundaries for how I should be treated. Reading the book Boundaries is really good. But also like, just don't invite people over. Just don't do it. Like your people.
Yeah.
Like Irene isn't inviting people over.
Yeah.
Like it's just Irene being here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah. That's co-sleeping ?
All the time.
All the time. Still.
All the time.
Still.
Here's my thought. And mind you, I don't drink. So this is my...
Or you're not on pharmaceuticals.
I'm not on pharmaceuticals and I don't drink. There is no...
Scooch that mic closer to your face.
Oh,
that's good.
I'm breaking the table.
Is it?
I read it, mind you, I read it once, but I was like, that kind of makes sense. It's moms who are exhausted, who will have a glass of wine with dinner. And I'm not saying a glass of wine is bad. I'm just saying it does dull your senses. You drink it because you're stressed and it does something. Like I wouldn't even take, I have like, there's holistic herbs I used to take when I would have super bad anxiety. I wouldn't even take those. Like I don't want anything changing any of my like over heightened awareness at all. There was one night where it was with my firstborn. He was asleep next to me in the bed. And my mom, like I woke up and I looked at him and his hand, not the hand that was right next to me, his other hand that was out in the air, it was asleep and it was just up and he was wiggling his fingers like this. Nothing else was moving except his fingers and like my body's over here. And so when I like jolted awake and saw his little like fingers go up, I was like, oh, it's like at that point, because you're still a little afraid, like, what if I'm so exhausted? Like this kid's on my boob. What if he suffocates because I'm so tired I fell asleep? But I thought like I felt his fingers way over here, like my like in tuneness to that was so strong. That I was never afraid, but I don't take anything to dull my senses. However, now that they are 4 and 6 and in their own room, apparently my daughter fell off her bed and their room was so filthy the other day that we have this like flat not Tupperware, the like pack away under the bed sliders of storage, whatever it's called, full of Legos. So that's what we throw all the Legos in and it slides under the bed. Apparently she fell off her bed and landed in that box of Legos. It was half under the bed. Somehow she landed and like slid herself more under the bed on top of Legos and was screaming. I didn't hear a thing. What I heard was my husband say, "I'm coming, baby girl." And then I was like, oh, okay, good. He's got it. Bye. Then the next morning, he's like, she was laying on top of Legos screaming. I was like, glad you heard her.
I think that's when like,
but also like I did my time.
Yeah.
Your turn. Go get them.
That's us right now. Like, he's like, oh my gosh, she's crowding me so much. And I was like, boo hoo. I did literally 2 solid years and her sucking up my teeth. Like, you can be crowded.
Yeah.
We're in a king size bed. Scooch her over. It's fine. Yeah. I do remember, I don't think it was postpartum anxiety, but like I had, like my senses were so heightened that like I would also be like, not like, I don't know what it is, but like I wasn't dreaming. I think maybe it was dreaming, but I had a dream that she'd stop breathing. Like I had rolled over on her or something and she'd stop breathing. And I would wake up and I would grab her and like sit her up and like start like almost like Heimlich. And then she would be like, what the hell is going on? And Dave would be like, she's fine. She's fine. And that lasted for like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it was probably, I don't know when it was just a while. And then a similar thing where like I felt her like roll or move a little bit and I like immediately like shot my eyes open. Cause again, at the time, well, I wasn't drinking because of postpartum and I was nursing. I also just never really been a big drinker. But like now, like we almost never drink anymore. Like I don't ever drink anymore. I'm just done. I don't do it. I do too many health things to like backpedal your liver. That feels just dumb. Yeah, and it doesn't make me better. It doesn't make me nicer. It doesn't make me more fun. It's just like I just would rather have a good cup of coffee. Yeah. But I also don't take any pharmaceuticals. I think that's where people get into the like they roll over under their kid and suffocate them. It's like most of the time, almost every story I've read, it's like they had a couple beers with dinner and the husband rolled over. It's horrible. Like, and that doesn't mean just because you drink.
Different though. That the husband thing is different because I don't think they have. our instincts. Like
Dave was so heightened.
Jacob said he didn't sleep. Maybe he was heightened. He said he didn't sleep great for the longest time because he was so scared he was going to roll over on the baby. So maybe it was heightened because he didn't sleep. But what we did was we had a playpen, and we had, I pushed the playpen up to the bed, and it has the mesh like wiring. So if he got too close to the mesh, like he can breathe through it. And he slept between me and the playpen so that Jacob could sleep.
Oh, okay.
And that's how like it kept, or we would keep the pregnancy pillow. We kept that in bed, and like I would put that, Jacob would put that behind his back so he would like feel it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was never afraid he was going to roll over on our kid.
There's an interview. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll try to link it if I can find it, of a gal talking about the male hormones postpartum and how like they're something in their hormones. I'm just gonna like, I don't know, their testosterone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Heightens so much that they hear sounds like outside better. Like they're hearing
like
they're protective, like primal, protect the family, protect the pack, heightens so much. So like Dave would be up in a second. Like there would be a deer outside our window because we used to live like backed up to the woods, and he would be up in a second and have his gun out the window, like look at the window, and I would be like, "What the, like what is going on?"
Yeah.
So like there is changes within it, but he was also very nervous about co-sleeping. We did have that like
Oh yeah, I forgot we had that, the Snuggle Me Organic.
Yeah,
we started out with that, I think, and then
I
eventually
took her out immediately when she got too big and her shoulders started getting pushed forward.
I don't remember when we stopped using it. Honestly, we probably stopped using it because even in my sleep with the kid next to me, I was too lazy to pick them up to put next to me. It's like, just sleep next to my arm.
I know.
I also like am a physical touch love language, so like smother me, go for it. I'm here for it.
Meanwhile, I'm like, don't touch me. Nobody hug me and text me 12 days before you plan to come over.
Yeah. Her daughter was plugging stuff in and was like right over my shoulder in my face. Did not even notice until I was like, give her some space. I was like, oh, she could be licking my face. I probably wouldn't even care.
Don't let her lick. That is not appropriate. I did not want my child having that happen. But I think something else. I think we negate like our God-given instinct with our kids of like, like even just like dumb things of like, I've noticed like this behavior once we started implementing this food. That's weird. Let's cut it out for a couple of weeks and see. Like, I think we just have like, we're way more capable of making decisions, but we have offloaded it so badly to like doctors and now sometimes even influencers of like, oh, the influencer told me this. It's like, hey, God gave you that baby. Yeah. Gave you and your husband that baby. Nobody else. Not like, and use that gift wisely. Yeah. Like, you know.
I still do that with like vitamin D drops. I'll go up to each kid and kind of wing it. Yeah. It's just like, open your mouth, you little baby bird, and they'll do it. And then I go with my gut. And my gut's like, that's probably enough for you. And then I'll just pull it away. That was a long time.
Yeah, so much for like 2 half-hour episodes. My gosh.
Never.
We stink. Okay, we will see you guys. Was there any more?
Oh, no, we just got a response from Kim. Roger said Kim.
Oh, good. I messaged her. She had an ear infection. I told her, I was like, have you tried an onion poultice? It's the best. Guys, this is just a random bonus tip that has nothing to do with the Q&A, but if you have an ear infection, do an onion poultice and like squeeze some of the warm juice out and drip it right in your ear.
Tell them what an onion poultice is.
An onion poultice is a steamed, like, so cut an onion in half, preferably organic. Cut an onion in half.
Doesn't matter what color.
Steam it. Steam it. And it's going to be freaking hot. But like when it's to the point that you feel like you can tolerate it to your ear, maybe even a little hotter than tolerant, put a paper towel over the outside and then like a Ziploc or something, kind of trap the heat, and then lay down on the affected ear on your bed or on whatever, and like let the steam get up there. And if it's like really
do you put the hot onion directly to your ear, or you put the paper towel in between the onion and your ear?
I did. Okay. I put it directly on my ear because I did it 2 different ways. I started out with it this way so that when it was the hottest, so that the steam could get up into the ear and soften things. And then once it was kind of like, it kind of gets kind of like that onion kind of soft. Then I would go the opposite direction and kind of like, as it's still warm and kind of still hot, squeeze it a little bit and let the juice, it sounds weird, like let all the onion juices go in my ear. It's like, it's a pain reliever. I don't know. It felt so good.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna call eyes. But
We need our allegedly button.
where did that go?
I don't know. It's lost somewhere.
Failing. That
We're
podcast
just
room
doing our best.
is just sitting
well,
the same
your
position.
toilet started flooding into the rest of your home. So, you have priorities, sanitary priorities.
Well, it's that, and then our roof started leaking, and then technically our what's it called? That fireplace that we don't have a fireplace.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there is one in the basement, but like the chimney.
There's a fireplace in your basement? Why?
Because that's where fireplaces used to be back in like when they built houses of our age.
I grew up in the desert. We don't have basements.
Yeah, because like you'd start the fire and then it would heat the house because the hotter rises. But
That would make me so stressed out to have fire just blazing in my basement.
yeah,
Like I would never be able to sleep upstairs knowing there's like a fire even in a fireplace. It would stress me out.
I don't know. There's a lot more modern things that stress me out more. But our chimney is like, if it was like the scale of like 1 to 10 not being safe, it's like, and 10 being the most unsafe.
Yeah.
It's at like a 9.5, like could fall down at any
Yeah.
point. And so like, there's just again, we had to make sacrifices in order for me to leave my job and focus on raising our family, which like I will still to this.
There's
my
lightning
dying
out
breath.
there. Sorry, my eyeballs just went really wide. It startled me. Carry on.
I'm just saying that I'm getting on my soapbox that like we have toured around the country, worked full time, also done like video gigs where we had to pull all-nighters and do all these things. It is a different type of work when you're raising a kid and making food all the time and trying to keep the house clean.
Yeah.
Because like our roles are like kind of very traditional gender roles of like Dave works, I make all the food, clean the house, and take care of the kid. Okay, that's really thundery.
Yeah.
Okay, this was supposed to be really quick, and it is not. Surprise, surprise.
No regrets.
No regrets. Adios, muchachos.
Bye. This content is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice.
Please do your own research and find a trusted medical professional for personalized guidance and advice.
We are not responsible for your decisions based on the information you hear on this podcast.
Bye.
Bye.